He is about to head for victory as he comes into the final corners here at Silverstone. The crowds are going crazy. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. He takes his 9th win at Silverstone, his first win in nearly 1,000 days in Formula One.
A couple of corners left. Pato O'Ward by 2 car lengths on the main straightaway. He weaves, he wiggles. O'Ward wins. McLaren.
Good flag. You just won at Mid-Ohio, buddy.
And toppled Alex Palou at Mid-Ohio.
And now he is going to conquer the streets of Chicago. Alex Bowman has won at Chicago.
Hell yeah, buddy! That's what I'm talking about. Hell of a job, brother.
Alrighty, how you guys doing today? Welcome in to the Full Send Half-Mast podcast. Tonight we're going to be talking about all the races this weekend. What a fantastic weekend of racing! I think this was the best weekend of racing we've seen in the 2024 season. Truly hitting that sentiment home that we said at the beginning of the year, with this was going to be the golden age of motorsports, and this weekend finally saw it, man. I think we finally hit it for the first time this year. So first off, though, Tom, how you doing, man?
Oh man, I am. What a fantastic weekend of racing. Holy cow. I mean, we saw the biggest triumphs across all series this weekend. I mean, it was awesome. What an awesome weekend of racing, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel. It's just amazing. Jared's with us here tonight. Jared, how are you doing, man?
Dude, awesome. I'm with Tom. What a great weekend of racing. A lot of fantastic results, and I'm excited to talk about it. So,
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. I'm glad Jared got to join us tonight here on the podcast. Jumped in about 20 minutes ago, and I was like, "Hey, man, you want to jump in?" He's like, "Heck yeah, dude. Let's talk about some racing." I was like, "Let's do it." I guess just a summary of what we're going to be going over here tonight is obviously the NASCAR series there at Chicago Street. We got IndyCar and Indy NXT for the hybrid debut there at Mid Ohio. Can't wait to talk about that. Formula 1, Formula 2 there at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix weekend. We'll also go over our drivers of the week, our boneheads of the week, like we normally do. We'll go over some point standings in some of the series, as well as previewing the absolute onslaught of races this weekend. There's just so many to name, so we'll do that when we get to talking about those here by the end of it. And then maybe some fantasy picks as well for NASCAR, and then we'll talk about what we're doing for the rest of the week here on this channel, including this weekend, which I'm super excited about as well. So first off, let's start with some news. I think the first thing we have to talk about is the EV debut in Chicago. I think that needs to be addressed. Dude, I've seen so many like videos and comment sections that are just absolutely roasting this EV car. But my thought is, Tom, I don't think it'll ever see the light of day. I think it's all a publicity stunt by NASCAR to show like, hey, look what we can do, look what we can innovate. Kind of like Garage 56. I could see it maybe getting a run somewhere like down the future. Maybe they run like an IMSA race with it or something. But I don't think it's anything to worry about, NASCAR fans. And then again, Tom, I mean, you've said it so many damn times. What's the next step for NASCAR?
It's a hybrid system. That is the next step. Okay, you kind of already said it. What I was gonna say is I've said it for about probably close to a year now, where you will never have buy-in with the fan base that you have going completely EV. You just can't. You're not gonna get it. What do you got to do to work up to that? You got to slowly feed them the Kool-Aid. Slowly get them to buy into it. You put in a hybrid system with the V8. And then you go V6. Twin turbo, supercharged, whatever. Make it the booster era with the hybrid energy pack. And then you slowly introduce the full EV. That's what you got to do. And it's not a quick turnaround. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 years probably of a switchover like that. It's going to take some time. But what they're doing right now, I just see it. And with all of the moaning that is going on with team owners, with higher ups in the teams complaining that they're broke, they got no money. They're talking about, oh man, I don't know how we're going to go into next year. It would be such an easier transition. It would be. It'd be so much easier for the teams. It'd be so much easier for the fans. And right now, I feel like this EV car is going to cost a buttload of money. And it's not going to be productive in any type of sort to expand a fan base that doesn't want it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, I'm a fan of racing. I like good racing. That's all I care about. I don't care if you're racing frogs. I don't care if you're, racing RC cars. I don't care if you're online racing on simulators or something. I don't care. I just like good racing, But there's some people out there who really, truly value that V8. And it's going to take a lot for them to turn around and change that way of thinking. I just think the way that they're going about it right now is just wrong. It's not going to work. And I think they're very ill-advised when it comes to stuff like this. Because this isn't the only case.
No. And to your point too, I mean, if NASCAR wants to grow like they want to grow, that's why they're pushing towards a CV. But I mean, the fans aren't going to buy into it. They're not. The NASCAR fans are the most stuck in the mud, bass backwards behind the times racing fan base of all time. I mean, everybody else has transitioned to this V6 hybrid era. We're going to talk about it with IndyCar here coming up as well. I mean, that's the future of NASCAR. I mean, they're going to have to eventually get away from the full combustion engines. They're going to be government regulations down the line. Something's going to happen. And so I think the way that you get around it is the V6 hybrid. And look in those cars. I mean, look at those IMSA cars. Those GTPs are getting like 700 horsepower with those V6 hybrid, and it's some of the best racing in the world right now. Actually, no, not some of it is the best racing in the world. And look how many manufacturers have bought into it. I mean, we have 14 manufacturers right now, and another 4 or 5 in the next couple years coming in. I mean, imagine if NASCAR built a V6 hybrid era package, and we're able to take that to Honda, go take that to BMW, go take it to Porsche. Would they be willing to buy in? I think they would. I think they really legitimately would, and that would create more manufacturers coming into NASCAR, more manufacturer support, more fan bases, more countries buying in, and more money. It's a win all the way across the board, and it's competitive and fun and good racing. So that's the way I feel about it. NASCAR fans are just gonna bitch and complain no matter what you do. I mean, you could tell them that this car's got 1 billion horsepower, and they're still gonna complain. You know, so it just is what it is. I think it's cool, but I don't think they're ever going to be able to get the fans to buy in. I don't think they're ever going to be able to put a successful racing series together. Unless they get Chase Elliott or Kyle Larson or Denny Hamlin in one of those cars, then maybe they'll buy in, you know. But we'll see. Alrighty. Next on the talking here. Oh man, this has got to be the most comical news I've seen in a while, actually, was the Haley Deegan being fired. Lol. I think I put that in the notes. Lol. Yeah. AM Racing and Haley Deegan part ways. I mean, we all saw this coming. When you take her out of the car for a week, that's how it starts, right? It's like this was being seen for a week or so here. Thoughts, future NASCAR. What do you think happens next in this Haley Deegan NASCAR saga, Tom?
I think they finally watched our Haley Deegan is a bust video.
I agree.
I mean, we already know, Clint Boyer, Darrell Waltrip, somebody else, Kenny Wallace watches our videos. Haley Deegan even watches our videos. So
Yeah.
I think somebody just got an education and they were like, man, these guys are freaking right. And then that's how it just happened.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's kind of more of a feel-good moment because that team finally narrowed down the problems to their struggle. And they got rid of it. I mean, I thought they were going to, fire the pilot that flies her to each race before they eventually fired the root cause. So, I mean, I'm just glad for the team to finally figure it out.
You can only blame so much on jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jet lag or chauvinist in NASCAR.
I mean,
They
we're gonna fire her Uber driver that drove her to the airport every week before they finally fired the root cause.
Oh man, I think it's absolutely hilarious, and the comments are freaking awesome. We talked about this. I just kind of want to talk about this next just a little bit because some of the comments were absolutely fantastic. I think my favorite ones were, she needs to get rid of her low-life boyfriend. Ever since she's been with him, she hasn't been focusing on racing, and she's gotten out of shape, and this and that. And then the next one was, oh, I think she's going to get calls by IndyCar teams next. Her driving style is going to transition to IndyCar so much better.
Yeah.
I mean, just maybe she needs to go run in the World Outlaws because she's a dirt racer at heart. Like, I was like, holy cow.
For the paper instead of 2-ply.
It's all shit paper at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then I think the best was when Donovan jumped into our group chat and he said, you guys need to make new t-shirts in your merch store. Have faith in Haley. Have HFIH t-shirts. So that might be coming to the merch store soon. And on the back, we'll have all of her list of accomplishments. Oh man, I think it's great. I honestly, as a racing fan, I think this is great because she needs to be out of the sport. But as the content creator, it's like, dang man, now who's our next punching bag? Like, and it's not that she's a punching bag; she was self-imposed. Like, she self-inflicted it on herself by the way she reacted to a lot of situations. Her daily
Never her
videos that she does, blaming everybody else. Her fans make it. Well, it's really it's not even Haley D. We haven't had nothing against Haley D. I think she's got talent to an extent, right? I don't think she's the worst race car driver on the planet of Earth. Like we've said that multiple times on this channel. It's the fan base is what really makes it hard to pull for her because her fan base is delusional and they don't see what's happening. And it makes it really hard to pull for her when the people that are pulling for her paint it out to be everybody else's fault and everybody else's problem. And we're all just a bunch of haters. And it's like, no, we're looking at stats. Stats are real. Like they're not fictional. That's the only way to judge somebody's talent is based upon stats. And people saying that she doesn't have the same experience as some of these guys. Well, you got Jesse Love, who's 18 years old, and he's out here basically you're one of your championship favorites for the Xfinity title. I mean, you got Ty Gibbs, 20 years old, basically a playoff contender this year and on the verge of winning any week now. And she's older than these drivers, and she is struggling with the same level, with maybe the same or more experience. I don't get it, man. That's what frustrates me. But nonetheless, she's fired. Josh Berry's in the wheel this weekend, and do we see her getting any more Xfinity truck starts this year? Do you guys think she'll pick up another team will pick her up?
No,
I mean, she's got the money, but she's going to Cup. Sure, it says.
I want to know how that deal with Ford is going to work out. Because if anything, Ford's going to find her something if they stay on board. So I mean, I don't know where. I don't think sports car racing is it. I don't think NASCAR's in the books anymore. I mean, I could be wrong. Ford's gonna, if she's still on board with Ford's gonna pick it. Ford's gonna cherry pick. But I just don't know that situation. I haven't seen anything. I haven't heard anything. I haven't read anything. So I don't know. If anything, it's gonna be Ford putting her back in a race car, though.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I don't think I've heard anything about Ford dropping her. So I think she's still good on the Ford end. But you bring up a good one, sports car racing. I think that could be where she ends up going. I mean, we could see her in the Pilot Challenge Series sometime later this year. Who knows? I mean, what they did with Chase Briscoe, they could put her on that package. We'll see. But for now, no Haley Deegan on the schedule for the foreseeable future. All right, and we're just going to add to some more clownery news. Basically, all the news that we added was basically clownery news. So the next one, oh man, Rodney Childers is moving to Spire next year, and he's going to team up as crew chief for the LaJoy Dozer. I mean, this has got to be the most clown combo I've seen in NASCAR history. I don't think it could get worse than this, man. Like, this is bad. This is poverty levels bad. I mean, what are we going to have? LaJoy running 20th, and we're going to pit from 20th out of 20th to finish 30th. Like, what's going to happen? Like, LaJoy's going to hit the wall, and what is going to happen here? I mean, this just seems like a terrible combo. This is bad.
I mean, you've got the worst crew chief in the Cup Series paired with the worst driver in the Cup Series. All I am suspecting is like an episode from, Beverly Hills Housewives every race. And I'm here for it.
Dude, this is gonna be the next great thing to talk about. We're gonna have a new segment or something like how the 7 car do this week, and then like it's so bad, man. The fact that Corey LaJoy's racing to begin with just blows my mind. But then on top of that, to have Rodney Childers, who is just at quit level, yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Oh man, that perfectly summarizes it right there. I love it. So 2025 is gonna be a fun year over there at the Spire camp with the Joy Dozer and Childers.
I actually have one. Look at this. Right.
Unstoppable or disposable.
Disposable.
Oh man, this is gonna be great. Alrighty. Next bit of news. Everybody's favorite Dollar General knee pad owner here, Cooter Daly. 3-race deal with Nice in the trucks? What? What? Why?
Dude, who knows?
Oh, man. You can't stay
the
away.
Knee pads getting a work in this year, boy. Good Lord.
Dude, remember what last year we had a podcast, we were talking about Jimmy Johnson, where he like went off and ran IndyCar and IMSA, and then he went off and ran in the 24-hour Le Mans, back in NASCAR, like can't stay away. That's what this reminds me of, man. Like Cooter's gonna hit the entire motorsports plethora by the time he retires, and he's gonna have ran everything under the sun and not
Without a
have
win.
anything to show for it.
Without a win.
I mean, you've got him broadcasting F1 races in the US. You've got him running NASCAR trucks, Xfinities in the Indy 500. I mean, where's he going next, man? Like,
That dude can't even pull an Alex Bowman backing into a win.
yeah. Oh man, him and Corey LaJoy must be like best friends or something. Like they are the same. I mean, it's bad.
They really are. They really are. They are. They are two peas in a pod, just in different series.
Dude, they could be in the same series here next week. Who knows, man? At the weight rate.
Yeah,
this is
yeah, that's
going.
right. Who freaking knows?
Oh man. All right. The final bit of news here that I want to talk about is Young's Motorsports has now acquired the 46 team in the trucks with Thad Moffitt. He got fired from the car. The team closes down. Now it's moving over to Young's, rebranding as the 46. Okay. I mean, is there anything else to say? I don't know. We're gonna have to see how this plays out. You think it was sponsor issues is the reason why that team
Dude,
folded? Because I mean, he
who
was the one bringing
knows?
in the sponsors. I mean, I don't know. It's so weird.
Who knows? Seriously. I mean, did they even have a chance at the championship or anything?
At nothing.
Well, it's not any greater with Youngs. So.
No. Yeah, it's gonna be probably the same scenario. Just, yeah, rebranded.
GG's.
Yeah, exactly. GG, staying in the sport, staying relevant. That's all that matters. All right, I think that covers news for today. We're just gonna get into recapping the races this weekend. We'll just do this in kind of an order of what the race happened this weekend. So on Saturday we had the Xfinity Series, the Loop 110, and the Chicago Street Course. Stage 1 was won by SVG, but I want to talk about how freaking awesome Stage 1 in this race was. SVG, Kyle Larson throwing dive bombs on each other into corners, racing each other real close, not really never making any contact. Ran each other really hard, clean, respectable. Swapped the lead probably 10, 15 times. I mean, those 15 laps, dude, I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't believe what we were witnessing between SVG and Larson. I enjoyed the hell out of that. I don't know how you feel. I enjoyed the hell out of that. I think that was some of the best racing I've seen all year. Again, proving why the Xfinity Series is the premier series in NASCAR. Those cars are freaking amazing, dude.
Yes. Yes, so that was an awesome race. We saw a freaking awesome battle between Larson and Van Gisbergen. We saw strategy. We saw cars up front that we thought would probably never be up front. For example, Hill.
Yeah. Out of strategy, but nonetheless,
Out of
still was up
strategy,
there.
but
yeah.
but without knocking down a wall, I mean that's impressive. So there was just a lot. There was a lot of layers to this race, and it was a great race. And yeah, I mean that was peak Chicago.
Yeah, that was
Well,
amazing.
Speaking as someone who is an actual Larson and SVG fan, I mean, there was not a dull moment in that for me. So that was pretty cool to watch those two up at the front, like they're supposed to be. Those two.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, it was a great race. And then like the strategy and everything that happened too when cycling a lot of guys to the lead. Shout out to Jesse Love, put up a freaking hell of a fight. I mean, he did not have a car fast enough to stay in front of Ty Gibbs, SVG. I mean, we had Mosak, Larson charging through the field after that pit stop. But yeah, Jesse Love did everything he could. He just didn't have enough. And then rest in peace to I guess two more things I want to talk about. Sheldon Creed wrecking late in that race, P4. I mean, I think me and you talked about it. This is the first time we've seen Creed actually start fighting back and like actually using his door and bumper to be aggressive. And then he gets crapped on by everybody on social media. Everybody's hating on Creed now. And it's like, this man's been used and abused for like 3 years, man. Every race he has a chance to win and he races super clean and gets used up and loses the race. And the 1 week he finally just said, screw it, I'm done. Somebody ran into him early in the race, and after that, he's just like, elbows out. I'm just gonna start doing it back. Like, I'm not gonna get beat up. And then he wrecks, and everybody's like, oh yeah, this is what you get for being an absolute bulldozer. It's like the first time I've ever seen Creed race like that. But I mean, it stinks. I mean, he was right there again, top 5 late in the race, had not a chance to win, but solid top 5, solid point stay, and gets taken away from him. And then my other complaint about this race is how long it took to run pace laps. I mean, at the end of this race,
man.
it was miserable. They're running 4 or 5 pace laps per caution. And it was cautions that didn't grant or warrant anything. I mean, we had one guy stuck in the wall in turn 1. Like, just grab the car with a chain, pull it out of the tire barrier, pull it into the pits, and we go green the next lap. What takes you so long? Why do you have to run 5 freaking pace laps, man? I just don't get it. That was really the only thing that keeps it from being a 10 out of 10 for me. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. It's just the caution laps just drug. I mean, it drug on.
A minimum of 2, a maximum of 3. There's no reason why we should have 15-minute stage breaks in these races. I mean, first off, stages are still a relatively new thing. It's a gimmick, and it is terrible for the racing on track. I mean, there's no strategy. There's no true race. There's 2 strategies that you can run every race. It's the same strategy every race. It is no different. There's no changes. It's just the time that it took, the laps that was wasted, that we could have seen some more awesome on-track racing, was a damn shame. Luckily, the beginning of that race was just freaking phenomenal, and the right person won.
Yeah, I agree. SVG deserved that win. He was definitely head over heels better than everybody else.
I definitely agree wholeheartedly with what Jay said, especially about the Sheldon Creed thing. It just seems every week, with Sheldon Creed, without fail, getting his head shoved in a urinal, his underwear pulled up over his head, lunch money stolen, shoved in a locker. Sheldon, it's just that weekly occurrence for Sheldon Creed. I agree with that. And I agree with Tom as well. The right guy won SVG.
Oh, man, I love it. Yeah, great race in my opinion. I agree. It was a fun race. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And we'll talk about it more when it gets to Cup race, because a lot of people have mixed opinions on the Chicago Street Race weekend and the future of it. But I love it, man. I loved it.
SVG certainly has that track down, though.
Oh, yeah. He was the best in the Cup race, too. We'll talk about that when we get to the Cup review. Lots of bagging on some people when it comes to that. So I can't wait to talk about that here in a minute. But real quick, we'll just talk about F2 real quick this weekend. Antonelli won the sprint race, start on pole, pretty dominant. It was rain plagued, lots of safety cars, issues, whatever. And then in the feature, he ended up getting wrecked on like lap 1 by Miney. And then Crawford ended up cycling to the lead with all the strategies played out. He had an unsafe release on his final pit stop, got a 5-second penalty. Won the race by 3 seconds, but relegated back to P3, and Hadjar ended up inheriting the lead. And I believe Hadjar is now your new points leader in Formula 2. So crazy turn of events there for Formula 2 this weekend. I mean, unpredictable. It's F2. It's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen next. All right. Sunday, I was really happy for Tom on this one, because he was on the bandwagon for Colette. I think you picked him as your dark horse to win this weekend.
I did.
Holy cow, man! What a race he put together. Qualified on pole, blistered the field in qualifying. I was hell impressed. He had qualified Jacob Abel, Jamie Chadwick, Louis Foster, the guys we look at on a weekly basis to be dominant in Indy NXT, and he did it. And then not only did he do that, he ended up going on to win. Really, the only major incident was early in this race. We had Bryce Aaron and we had Jamie Chadwick make contact there, I think, in corner 2 on the first lap. Super unfortunate for both of those drivers. Both of them are really talented. That's early race, bunched up like they were. Nothing was detrimental to either the race, like go to DNF or anything. Just unfortunate contact. And I don't think it'll be the last we hear of Jamie Chadwick winning races by the end of the season. There's a lot of favorable tracks. We're getting into the oval stretch. It's going to be interesting. I think Jacob Abel is going to be one guy to watch during this oval stretch. He's super good on ovals, and if he's going to close this gap back down to Louis Foster, he's going to have to start turning up in the ovals. But with this win by Colette, he now, I believe he's second in points. He closed that gap down, or is he still third in points? Yeah, he's still third in points, but he did close that gap down pretty significant this weekend with that dominant.
It's only 30 points.
So I'm super excited to see. I don't think the championship's over yet, man. I'm excited to see when we get into this oval stretch. That's one of Louis Foster's weaknesses. He built enough of a gap during all these road races. Now we get into the oval stretch. Can he learn how to run these ovals and be successful? Last year, he really struggled on the ovals, and we'll see if this year it's any different or if it's the same. So I think it's going to be a great championship battle down to the end. And Tom picked it. Tom said on the podcast, he picked him as his dark horse was Colette, and he got it done.
That's
man.
2 times this year. I chose underdog to win the race with Indy NXT.
Yeah, you're doing good. I've been keeping with my main man, Miles Rowe, all season. And yeah, he ended up DNFing in this race, unfortunately. Finished dead last. And he was one of those guys right there in the top 5 in points as well coming in. So that was super unfortunate. But I don't think it's over for him either. I'm excited to see what Colette and Rowe can do in the near future, because I think those are the best 2 young up-and-coming drivers in Indy NXT right now. All right, let's talk about the British Grand Prix for Formula One. What an absolute banger, dude. Banger of a race. Again, dude, another banger, dude. We keep getting bangers this year, man.
Yes.
Week after week. We'll just go over Russell qualified on pole. Hamilton was P2, so it looked like Mercedes were fast. And I think it's hard to say, Tom. If somebody put your life on the line right now and said, who's the best team in Formula One, who would you say it is?
The best team in Formula One?
Yes.
It's McLaren.
I agree. But it's tough to say that because it seems like we had, at the beginning of the year, Red Bull. They were the best team.
Hold on. The best car in F1 is McLaren. The best team right now, I'm going to have to give it to Red Bull. No, I'm not. I'm giving it to Mercedes. I am. I'm giving it to Mercedes. They have arguably the 3rd best car. I mean, it's really close with Ferrari. But, man, what a performance, man. That was awesome. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly where I was going with my point. Like, it's hard. It's hard to say who's the best right now, who's not. Because, I mean, like I said, we had Red Bull early in the season, dominant. Ferrari caught up. Ferrari overtook them, I believe, there for a couple weeks there. Then they fell off. Red Bull's been gradually falling off. McLaren, boom, they moved up to the top. And now, I mean, it's kind of arguable to say maybe even Mercedes could be the best car now. Like, it's so subjective week to week, depending on where they race. I mean, this is a damn good Formula One year. And I think, what did I say on the podcast last week, Tom? We were talking about how many winners we've had. We have 5 winners, 4 manufacturers in victory lane. And it was like, who's going to win next? I mean, Piastri could probably win a race. I said Lewis Hamilton, watch out for him. He could win a race. I mean, Hamilton gets a win. We got 6 winners this year, dude. 6 winners in a Formula One season. That's insane to me. Can't believe that.
It is.
And we haven't seen Perez win, which is in a winning car, which I don't think he will win a race this year. We haven't seen Piastri win yet. And like you alluded to, I think McLaren is probably the best car in the grid right now. Piastri could legitimately win a race this year. And I would throw a dark horse, throw it out on a whim. I think we can see Hulkenberg win a race in a Haas. I really do, man. You can't finish in the points 4 or 5 weeks in a row and not be a guy that could somehow find a victory somehow, some way through strategy. I mean, it's impressive what we've seen so far. But, I mean, maybe I'm getting off track here. We should probably talk about the race a little bit. We saw weather come into play, right? Before the rain came, it looked like Norris and Piastri, the McLarens, really turned up. They were catching up to the Mercedes. They took advantage of this race. Weather came in and kind of leveled out a little bit. And then Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, what a strategy. They bring him in. They were the first ones to go on slicks. And then from there, I mean, masterclass, right? Masterclass. You talk about Lewis Hamilton's drive because you're the one that brought it up and said some good things about it.
All right. I am far from a Lewis Hamilton fan. I have always not been a fan of Lewis Hamilton, not because of who he is or how he drives or whatever. I just haven't been a Lewis Hamilton fan for the specific reason that we have never seen this man drive outside of a championship contending car. Until now. That guy, again, arguably third best car on the grid, fourth best car on the grid, put on an absolute display of it was a symphony of just driving beauty is what it was on Sunday. I have never seen that type of a drive out of Hamilton before. The pressure, the car not being the best on the grid. It hasn't worked with him. I mean, his teammate won a race before him. He's won 2 races before him. You know, what was it? 80 races?
56.
No, it wasn't 80. 56, yes.
Yeah.
56 races that man has not won a race. But this was, and I will confidently say this was the best drive out of Lewis Hamilton's entire career. There has not been another win where there has been so much outside influence to a win like what we saw on Sunday. The rain, the tire drama, the team drama, the pit sequences. I mean, Mercedes absolutely killed it. And you can compare their performance against McLaren. What did McLaren do? They pitted Norris and made Piastri go back around because they didn't want to stack him. I think that was the second pit stop, third pit stop, something like that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Piastri lost 12 seconds to the race leader. 12 seconds. Hamilton and Russell stacked and made up 10 seconds. You know, it was an insane swing that we saw there. But then Hamilton and Russell worked together, got back up to the front, and I think it was Russell defended against Norris there for a little bit as Norris was rolling his way through, and then it was Verstappen. Sorry. It was just a beautiful, beautiful race. I mean, if there is something to look back on the 2024 season, it's this race. I don't think there's been a better race. I think this is peak F1 2024 right now. That's at the Silverstone Grand Prix. This was just an absolutely amazing drive by Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Everybody else kind of floundered in their own way. Max Verstappen's car had some damage that they repaired from qualifying, loss of 20% downforce. McLaren being McLaren, Ferrari non-existent, Hulkenberg in P6. I mean, it was just a beautiful, absolutely amazing race. And I will be the first one to eat crow as all the crap I've talked on Lewis Hamilton this year. What a phenomenal drive. Kudos. Hats off to you. You did a phenomenal job.
Yes. Yeah. And I think
I'm
a
with
lot
Tom.
of
You gotta have that, extra set of respect for Lewis Hamilton because we know he could do it in a top-notch car. Obviously, we know that. But it's that old thing. Like, can Nick Saban take East Tioga Community College and win a national title? Lewis Hamilton. I think he proved that he could drive anything, man.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal race. And I think a lot of the hate that we do have for Lewis Hamilton is not necessarily his driving style or what he's done on track.
No.
It's the crybaby routine, the whining stuff that has happened throughout his career.
And his fan base. It's a freaking cult, man. It is like the Manchester United of F1. I mean, it's just you guys are awful. You guys are just terrible. I mean, you guys come on to X and you guys just come out from like the woodworks. I mean, you guys I have no other way to explain it except to the NASCAR fans as Haley Deegan supporters.
Yeah, I was about to say, you can see the worse than fans.
They are pretty freaking bad, dude. They are terrible.
Deegan Dingleberries, my bad.
The problem though is that Lewis Hamilton can actually win.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah. But can I just offer a little bit of advice to the Lewis Hamilton fans? Just chill out. Okay? It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Just
you don't have to go full bore Deegan Dingleberry. You don't have to go full bore.
Yeah,
Because your
yeah.
driver at least has a country hoot and a freaking holler at winning a race.
Prozac is over the counter. Take some on a Sunday afternoon and just chill out. All right, it's not that deep.
Why so serious? Yeah. No, I agree. It was a great performance by Lewis Hamilton this weekend. I enjoyed it. 56 race drought ended. That's a big moment, and that's kind of theme of the weekend.
Awesome.
And we'll talk about that when we get more into the next couple races as well. Sucks for Russell having those issues and not being able to finish. I think he would have definitely been a podium driver, especially with that stack that Tom was talking about. He was definitely right there with.
Oh
him.
yeah, the water pressures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I forgot about
Verstappen
that.
ended up fighting back for a podium. He finished P2. Norris was P3. So, yeah, I think it was a great race. 3 different manufacturers on the podium this week. That was cool to see. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm excited to see the next one, man. Like, this F1 season has been absolutely wild, and I think we can get up to 7, 8. Well, I'm gonna count Perez out. I think Hulkenberg has a better chance of winning than Perez.
Absolutely. But we're seeing another 2013-esque F1 season.
Yes.
And it's amazing. I'm so excited.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially with the last 2 years, seeing nobody else win, really. I mean, it's been great, man. It's been great.
It's been since 2014 that's been happening. Only one manufacturer would win, and it's just a nice change.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited for the next one. Point standings in F1 after this weekend. Verstappen grows his points lead to 84 points over Lando, and then 105 over Leclerc in third. And then constructors, it's closing up. Red Bull's 373, Ferrari 302, and McLaren 295. McLaren is absolutely eating into that second place right now. Ferrari, that gap was so big not too long ago, and McLaren is just eating away at it, man. So this is going to be great. I think the constructors title, I think it's going to come down to the very bitter end. I think it's going to be wild between McLaren and Red Bull, especially with how bad Perez is.
And I think a special shout out here, Jay. Lewis Hamilton is 8th in points.
Yeah.
8th.
Yeah. And a race
insane.
winner. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy, dude. It's insane. Yeah. Alrighty. IndyCar. IndyCar hybrid debut. What a freaking race this was. I was expecting a lot more issues, but really the only issue we saw was Dixon at the beginning of the race. I mean, whatever issues he was having, felt terrible for Dixon. That really is going to take him out of this championship battle here, which is so unfortunate.
I've got a bone to pick with IndyCar.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
there.
So, IndyCar made the decision to switch to hybrid mid-season, right? With not a lot of time, well, a decent amount of time to prepare, but not for the teams. The teams didn't really have that long to prepare, you know? So they shove this down the throat of the teams, and they say, show up to Mid-Ohio with this hybrid system or you can't race. And they get there, and from the drop of the green in practice, everybody was having problems. You know, all through practice and qualifying, and then in the race. Dixon made it, 1.5 laps?
Oh, he didn't even get the start. I mean, he was during the pace laps.
Under pace. Under pace. Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, under pace laps, 1.5 laps. And his car dies. And this might be a hot take, but shame on IndyCar for not letting that team get that car back to the garage and getting it fixed before the green flag.
That wasn't an IndyCar issue. That was a TV issue. That was the problem. Like, I bet IndyCar would have loved to have done it, but they had a TV window.
Say something.
Yeah.
Say something. Do something. Get some support to them. Why is he going back out on track 30 laps down then? They got the fix for it. It just took a little bit of time, and everybody was under stress because the race was going. Get the support from Honda. Get the support from IndyCar. Go to that garage and help them. Get back out on the track. And the reason why I say this is because Scott Dixon was in the hunt for the championship. I don't know how close that is anymore. It's probably non-existent. It doesn't matter anymore. I mean, they got double points for the final race, but how good is Scott Dixon at Nashville? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. It's such an unknown, and I feel like it's so freaking unfair for Scott Dixon and Team Ganassi to get that handed to them. I just think that there is something inherently wrong with what happened to Dixon on that day. I just think that was terrible.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't think it was IndyCar's fault. I don't think it was. I think it's the TV window, man. The TV decides everything. They got to fit it into this window. They had
something.
the NASCAR race afterward. TV really screwed the whole weekend up with scheduling where they scheduled the IndyCar race and how they scheduled the NASCAR race. They wanted to have them both on big NBC back to back. And then this goes to my biggest point: streaming platform. We need our own streaming platform because if we had them, then we wouldn't have any issues with having to fit them in a window because freaking LA Vice has to come on at 8 p.m. Eastern time every freaking weekend, you know? Like, get a freaking schedule platform where you can fit that thing in and you can have a 5-hour window slot where you have no TV that's going to be countering. But the problem is you can't get these damn people to invest $5 a month into something that they would watch anyway. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother can of worms. But yeah, it sucks for Dixon. I really hate it that, yeah, like you said, this championship is basically done. I mean, I think it's unrecoverable at this point, unless he goes on an absolute Dixon-esque tear. I mean,
he has to.
Yeah.
He has to. There's no other option. I mean, he's got to win both races at Iowa.
Yeah.
He's got to win. I mean, he's got to win at
Gotta
Milwaukee.
win Milwaukee.
He's got to win at Nashville to get the double points, and he's got to hope that somebody else has issues.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's not a good start to the hybrid era. The racing was phenomenal.
It was great.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But that right there, the whole race, I was thinking, man, what if Scott Dixon? What if? What if Scott Dixon?
Yeah.
Because look at Pelot.
Yeah.
That was, I just have a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that fair. All in fairness. I mean, honestly, I mean, I didn't really put too much thought into all that old Dixon thing. I just thought chalk it up to racing.
I feel for their crew members, man. I feel for their crew members. They put their heart and soul into this car. They spend time away from their family, 12, 13, 14-hour days at the shop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all because of this hybrid system that IndyCar thought it was a great idea to introduce mid-season.
Get it, man. I get the frustration. Like I said, I chalk it up to it's racing, man. The amount of times when I was racing when I was younger, and we'd spend freaking 60 hours during the week putting the car together, show up to the track, and some stupid $5 part ended our entire weekend. You know, that's racing, man. That shit happens all the time. So it sucks.
Yeah, but this was self-inflicted by IndyCar. It was out of the control of Ganassi.
Sure. But I mean, there's only so much testing you can do, and yeah, I don't know.
Which is still at fault of IndyCar.
But the racing was great. Like the hybrid package in use was amazing. Like
awesome.
The way that they were able to use their power down the straightaways, regenerate in the corners, like you knew how much power you had. They also had a fail-safe in it where it wouldn't drain all the way empty just in case they needed it for whatever other scenarios they need it for, safety issue wise or restarting wise or whatever. I thought the racing was great. The battle between Pelot and Pato O'Ward was absolutely freaking awesome. Ganassi's pit crew made that mistake on that final pit stop.
Both pit stops.
It was just bad. Well, I mean, the first one was as bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as the second one. But yeah, but give it up to Pato, man. I like you said with Lewis Hamilton. I am not a Pato fan at all. I think McLaren's a clown joke, clownery festival. I mean, worse than a circus. But Pato did great, man. He really did. When he got the lead and maintained it over Pelot, who is hands down the best IndyCar driver in the series right now, is Pelot. Best team, best engineers, best race strategist, best driver, best car, best team, everything about it. And Pato was able to, with the adversity he had to fight through, he had all that dirty air with those two cars in front of him. One of them was Pelot's teammate, Kevin Simpson at the time. And him to be able to fight off the pressure from behind, was able to stay even on push to pass with Pelot for that entire run, not overusing it in areas and not underusing it in areas. Like masterclass of a drive by Pato O'Ward to escape that lead. And Pelot would make moves to try and get closer and closer. And the closer he got, he'd make a mistake. And Pato never made a mistake like Pelot did. Pelot would lose time, regain it back up, make another charge, make another mistake. I mean, Pelot really made too many mistakes at the end of this race. Pato did a fantastic job. And then, I mean, he did it. He broke, a 30-race winless streak on track. I mean, he won the race at St. Pete, but I mean, that's an asterisk win. I mean, he finished P3 and was gifted a win. But yeah, a well-deserved win. The team executed, the driver executed, the strategy executed, and he got the victory. That was a great job by Pato this weekend and that McLaren team. I'll have to give
really
the
was.
respect when they deserve it, you know.
Again, another masterclass drive that we saw on Sunday. Pato O'Ward really, really cemented his name, his driving, his expertise, his skill in the IndyCar series on Sunday. I mean, that was a phenomenal drive, a career-defining drive. You held back the best. The best could not get around you. The number one IndyCar driver struggled to get around you. And it wasn't because of any defensive moves or anything.
Mm-mm.
It was pure pace.
Yeah.
Pure pace, pure racing and finesse. I mean, it was just a phenomenal thing to. I mean, my heart was racing, dude. I was like, holy cow, this is a race right here, baby. 16 seconds ahead of third place, and these two are duking it out. It was awesome.
Yes.
It was awesome.
And the lap traffic they had to not navigate, but have to race around as well. Like, I mean, how to keep your focus. Like, there's one thing, like, when you're just hitting your marks out front, leading by a distance with nobody in front of you, but having to be behind someone with the dirty air and having to maybe overdrive, underdrive compared to what the guy in front of you, like, that was impressive. Masterclass. The racing craft there was phenomenal. And in those last 30 laps, like you said, man, my heart was racing because you never knew it was going to happen. You were just waiting for Pato to make a mistake. Just waiting for it to happen. Never happened. Flo made probably 3 mistakes in those final 30 laps, and that's really, I think, was the ultimate outcome of that race, because if Flo made no mistakes, I think Flo would have got him eventually. I mean, if he'd have stayed close enough, I think he might have been able to get by him, and he just wasn't able to put perfection together there. And I think because Flo, really hasn't been in that situation before. I mean, he's used to being able to control races from the front, and he was having to chase, and I think it put him in a little bit different scenario there, and I think he learned a lot. I think Polo learned a ton being in that scenario, and I think he's going to be able to use that the next time around and be able to find a way to win. But I'm excited. This weekend is the oval test. We're going to see, or the oval race with the new hybrid package, and it's going to be interesting to see how that works. How does the regeneration work? How much does the unit deplete, and how much does it regen with the regen? How is that going to work? I don't know. We're going to find that out on Saturday. It's going to be a great one. IndyCar points. Right now, Polo is still the championship leader, 48 points over Power and 70 points over Pato. Pato's closing up. He's closing that gap, especially with this win, goes a long way. So big stuff there in IndyCar. I'm excited to see. I mean, like I said, we're getting an oval season, dude. We have doubleheader at Iowa, doubleheader at Milwaukee, Gateway, Nashville. We got 6 ovals in the final 8 races of the season. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. And Polo, track record on ovals hasn't been great. So he's gonna have to turn it around here if he's gonna be able to seal this 3rd championship. All right, let's talk about the main event of the weekend, the Grant Park 165 for the Cup Series at Chicago Street Course. Let's talk about stage 1, dude. Holy cow, dude! That was the best racing I've seen in the Cup Series since Bristol, and then before Bristol. Bristol was the first time in the Gen 6 era or Gen 7 era that we had good racing. So I mean, I think this was amazing, man. I enjoyed the hell out of it. That was NASCAR to me. That was NASCAR. Like the different conditions we had, wet to dry. We had guys on wet tires, dry tires battling. Cars maybe struggling a little bit in lap traffic because they were catching those guys on wets that were fish out of water at that point because the track was drying so much. And then you had still slick enough where you're on the slicks, you're having to drive those cars. They were up on the wheel, digging. SVG, Bell, Gibbs, Larson, Bubba, Bowman, and there was one more in that mix as well. Briscoe. All 7 of them within, a second half of each other, duking it out through traffic, going 3 wide, bumping into each other, using the bumper. I mean, it was freaking fantastic racing. And I enjoyed the hell out of that, man.
And then LaJoy.
Yeah, and then, the LaJoy dozer ends it completely. I mean, what is he going into turn 4 and just whips the thing around, backs in the wall? I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Then we end up having to run, 5 pace laps to end stage 1 to give it to SVG. Rain comes in. They restart the race in, I guess, bad weather. I mean, some of those drivers said it was okay to drive in, but, whatever. Safety. We'll use that word lightly here. Yeah. And then this is where the race really turned me off with the rain and everything. But freaking Chase Briscoe. What's your nickname for him now, Tom? I loved it when you said that.
Let's go, Briscoe.
Way to go, Briscoe. Goes into turn number 6. Lyle's Landing, as we like to say here on the Big List channel, and absolutely overshoots the corner, sends it into the barrier, and on his way in, tags old SVG in the bumpers, hits him enough that he gets into the wet, loses control, tags the right side wall, kills the car. I mean, I was devastated. I was still devastated. I think SVG was going to win this race, man. He was going to legitimately win this race. He had the best car, and yeah. Good old way to go, Briscoe. Absolutely TKOs him. Unbelievable.
Yeah. That was just terrible. I mean, later on in the race, we see even more. But this, how did he land a ride at JGR? He's been wearing out those Dollar General knee pads, baby.
Yeah, him and Cooter are shopping at the same store, dude. I mean, damn.
They are. They're like high-fiving each other as they're
walking out.
Yeah.
Oh,
terrible.
Tagging off, man.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that was miserable. I can't believe that happened. Then we go to a 2-hour rain delay. They get in the cars, and it rains again. They get out of the cars, and I'm tired of hearing wet weather tires, rain tires. It's kind of BS in my opinion. I think what it is it's if the track's just a little wet, we'll race in it. But if it's raining or anything like that, we're not racing in it. That's what it is. They're not wet weather tires. They're not even rain tires. What should we even call them?
All season. They're
all season.
No,
yeah.
they're not even.
They're not even that.
Not even.
No. Yeah.
No.
They're
Biden tires.
Yeah, they're
they're full of lies and false prophets.
Oh man, they are. It's true, man. They fool so many fans. Like these fans just eat it up, man. They're just sitting there mowing down, dude. Full buffet, dude. And it is what it is. What are you gonna say? So then during that Briscoe wreck, caution, whatever, Bowman got into Bubba into turn 2. Made a mistake, got in way too deep, took Bubba out. I was mad when I was doing the watch party. I think you could see my reaction there. I was like, what the hell are you doing? You had a 6th place car and you freaking throw it away to wreck Bubba back to P11. And I thought the race was over for him at that point. But we get back from the rain delay. Everything's kind of working out. Same guys are leading. Bell, Gibbs, Reddick. Those guys are still up front. Larson ships it into the Lyle's Landing turn 6 wall as well. I mean, what the hell was that? I mean, embarrassing. Oh, man. And then, after that, Briscoe plows the wall about 4 more times. Priest is in the wall about 6-7 times. Barry buries it into every turn wall into the tire packs. I mean, that precursor, those are our boneheads of the week. Anybody besides Lyle, who got named Lyle's Landing because of Lyle, he's the only one at SHR that didn't put it in the wall.
But his interview was on point.
Oh, it was beautiful.
What did he say? Something about having PTSD.
Yeah, he's like, that turn 6 wall's got some PTSD after what I did to it last year. Oh, man. They need to seriously name that Lyle's Landing. That is just beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, so every one of those buy one, get one free team that is no longer existing after this year, drivers piled that thing into the wall. So that'll be your 3 boneheads of the week. And there's nothing else to say about that. Those guys were just absolute clowns in this race. Joey Hand. Okay, so before the end of stage 2, everybody decides we're going to go to slick tires, right? So they all pit for slick tires. There's about 12 to 13 of them. decide we're going to stay on the wets. That being Joey Hand, Alex Bowman out front. Joey Hand with stage 2, barely holds off Bowman, and then Bowman finally cycles to lead. Gets by him there in the final laps, and then race against the time. I got berated on that video, by the way. Some guy comes in there and is like, it was clearly obvious that it was 2 to go. But in all fairness, Tom, what did that little graphic say on the time thing?
Yeah.
It said when the time expires, the next lap is the white flag.
Yes.
That's what it said. They didn't say when the time expires, the next time by, it's 2 to go. It didn't say that. It said when the clock expires, the next lap is the white flag, and then it's the checkered. And they said that about 8 times.
And Jay, in all other forms of motorsports that uses a clock system, that is how it works.
Yes,
You
100%.
run out of time, and if you are before the start finish line, it's a white flag. If
Yes.
you're after, you go to
you
the start
go
finish
to the-
line, and
okay.
then it's a white flag.
Yes.
And they were like in turn 10, I think, when the time ran out.
Yeah.
And plenty of time to pull out that white flag and wave it. I mean, what this told me right here was that NASCAR was trying to get a win for Reddick.
Yes.
That's what it told me.
Yes.
Why? Because Reddick was on slicks. He was 3, 4, 5 seconds quicker a lap, and he was going to pass Bowman if he didn't screw up.
Yes. Fact.
That-
100% true.
That is what it told me. It told me that they wanted Reddick to win because Reddick was going to win that race if he didn't screw himself.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely didn't make that part clear.
No.
They made it clear as day.
What
do you mean?
Let me pull it up here. I'll let you guys keep
They
talking.
made it-
I'll pull it up on
They
here.
made it clear as day by the graphic that they put on the TV. When the time
Right,
runs
yeah,
out,
this-
white.
Way the finish. So like Bowman, he took it with like 4 seconds to go, right? And then he still had to go
No,
around
it-
one more
no.
time to hit the white
No,
flag.
no. He ran out of time in like turn 10. He ran out of time in turn 10, and then came across the line. No white flag.
Yes.
I wasn't
Yeah.
looking at the flag waivers post. Jay's the one who called it out during the watch party.
Yes.
And I was
the
like,
way I
no
understood it,
way.
as
He was definitely waving the white
As soon as
flag.
he broke
Yeah.
the finish line at 0 seconds, then they would throw the white flag.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
going
way
to
I
try and pull up
understood it.
right now on the podcast. I'm going to try and pull the screenshot of that little saying that they had at the bottom, because
Yeah.
the way I interpreted it, the way that it was written is the way that I took it. So let's see, it's right here.
That's what I'm saying when I said that they didn't make that part clear. That's what I was saying. Is with on it, you thought that would have been the last lap, but they actually, when you take it at 0 seconds, is when they throw the white flag.
Okay, I've got it
They
pulled up
didn't make that part clear.
here. Let me I'm going to pull it over our faces here on the OBS. So pull it right here. Let's see if I can pull it up any differently here. Let's see. Let's full screen this or zoom in. Control plus. I should have prepped this before. Scroll down. Okay, right here. Once the race leader crosses the start finish line, the next lap will be the white flag, followed by the checkered. I'll say that again, just so you understand. Once the race leader crosses the start finish line after time expires, the next lap will be the white flag, followed by the checkered flag.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm misinterpreting this, right?
So time runs out. Next lap will be.
So when
Once-
time runs out, the next time they cross the checkered line, then they throw the white flag.
Once the race leader crosses the start finish line after
Yeah.
time expires.
After
Okay,
time expires,
that
yeah.
makes sense. After time expires.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just dumb. I've never won any awards for being a smart person. So
Well, I'm just dumb too.
but
But-
the way that Rick Allen explained it made no sense to me. I mean, that graphic, I guess, I don't know.
Why? Okay, well then this raises this question: why do we have to be so different?
Yeah, why? No other series does that. I mean, in
Why don't we
IMSA,
follow protocol?
if we got like 2.5 minutes to go and we're like going into turn 1, they'll just be like, they'll take the time off the clock and they'll just be like, it's 2 to go now. Like they'll just be like, it's 2 to go. And then the next time they come by, it's 1 ago. Like they judge the time based upon how long the laps are. So like if we're like a minute and a half to go and we're down the back straightaway and it would take longer than a minute and a half to get back to the line, they would just be like, well, it's 2 to go now. Like that's just the way that it is done in these endurance races. Like,
I mean, I'll eat crow. I mean, I eat crow all the time.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, like I said, I've never been told I was a smart man, so.
yeah, me neither.
So, yeah. But yeah, so in hindsight, yeah, we're probably just dumb, but we aren't we're IMSA sports car fans and they do it completely different. So cut us a break, you know. But yeah, Bowman snaps an 80 race winless streak, holds off Reddick because Reddick makes a mistake and wins the race, man. I mean, great. I mean, I think I put that in the video too, the reaction to the race, Tom. I was like, pre-race, before we even got into the watch party, I said, watch out for Bowman. I watched him in practice. He was really fast. And I was like, but, you know, that's maybe just my homer talking. Like, I think Bowman is one of the most underrated road course drivers in the Cup Series. Whenever they talk about who's the best road course driver, they never bring him up. But you look at average finishes at some of these road courses throughout his career, and they're really good average finishes. I mean, he's always in the picture. I mean, should have had that win at Coda that one year when the rain came and they waited for him to pit so that Elliott would cycle the lead and he'd get the win. The race that him, Chastain, Allmendinger 3 wide. Everybody talks about Chastain, Allmendinger bumping into each other, but who passed them both before that contact was made? You know, like, yeah, there's lots of scenarios you can go back and look at, but I don't know. I was super ecstatic, thrilled, and now he gets some of the respect that his haters have been hating on him for, you know, for so long. I don't know. Anybody got anything to say?
It was a great weekend of racing.
It was fantastic. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I mean, the IndyCar race was great. The Formula 1 race was great. The Xfinity race was great. And the Cup race was great. I mean, yes, we had a little bit of shenanigans in the Cup race, but it was weather inflicted, start time inflicted, TV scheduling inflicted. But the race was good.
Inflicted.
I mean, I like what Kyle Petty said. I don't know if you saw it. There's a video posted on the official NASCAR page. And I swear to God, how did NASCAR let him get away with saying this? But it was Kyle Petty, and he said, here we go. This is the solution to NASCAR. He said, we do a 30-minute pre-race show. We run every race at a 2-hour time limit, just like F1. And then we run a 30-minute post-race show. And get it all fit into a 3-hour TV package that we could ship to Amazon, Fox, NBC, TNT, and we could sell a 3-hour package. I was like, holy crap, dude. He listens to us. That's what we've been saying, bro. Shrink the length of these races, bro. Put them in a window. I don't think 2 hours. I think it should be, I don't think you need a 30-minute pre-race show. Do what IndyCar does. 15 minutes, man. 15-minute pre-race show. Start the race. Do the Grand Marshal, all that crap. And then do us another 15 minutes for the interviews at the end of the race, or 30 minutes if there's extra drama or anything. And then we run under a 2.5-hour time limit, or 2-hour 45-minute, you know? And we sell it as a 3-hour 10, 3-hour 15-minute package, you know, or even do the pre-race and the post-race on a different show, on like before or after, put on a different time slot or whatever, put on a second channel. I don't know. What Kyle Petty said, I'm 100% for it. I don't know what your guys' opinions are, but I think that is the way we make NASCAR more viewable. We can get rid of, and with the time thing too, Tom, that opens the window up that we can start getting rid of stage cautions. Because they would have that time limit. We get rid of stage cautions. We keep the stage points. We keep the stages. Get rid of the caution in between. We fit it into the 2-hour package. We know how I got 500-mile races. We have more like 350-mile races. Perfect. I'm a fan. Let's do it.
The only thing that they're going to do, though, Jay, is they're just going to shorten the races.
Yeah, they're not going to take the stages out. Or the stage cautions. You're right. They will. All the races will be, but they're not going to make them shorter than Xfinity races. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have to do something where they're going to have to make them longer than Xfinity races, but not too long. And also try to keep the manufactured restarts and stage cautions. You know, yeah, you're right. They're probably not going to do anything Kyle Petty said. Kyle Petty, big brain moved NASCAR, and I can't believe they actually posted it on their channel. Yeah. That's my opinion. I think it was a beautiful statement, and I'm here for it. So, is there anything else you guys want to add for anything this weekend, Cup race related?
RIP SVG.
Yeah.
Way to go, Briscoe. And the barrier man, Barry.
The barrier, man. And praying priest ain't in the wall next lap. Yeah, that was it. So yeah, our drivers of the week gonna go to Nico Hulkenberg, P6 again in Formula One. I mean, this man is just absolutely Hulkamania is running wild, man. I love it. I'll give a shout out to Christian Rasmussen, P9 in the IndyCar race. This is one of the best races he had all season, and it finally showed why he got that ride with ECR. So I was excited for that. And the Joey Hand. Oh man, the freaking NASCAR fans about Joey Hand. Alex Bowman didn't deserve that win. Who did he beat? He beat Joey Hand. Who the hell's Joey Hand? It's like, dude, nobody knows Joey Hand's like one of the greatest race car drivers on the planet of Earth right now. How many freaking Sebring wins, Rolex wins has he had? Starts in Le Mans with good finishes. He's won 12 hours of Bathurst. I mean, this man, he won like a Formula 4 or American Regional Formula Championship. I mean, it's Joey
Bowman
Hand.
just handed him that L.
Oh, man. Like, just because NASCAR fans don't know who he is doesn't mean he's not a great race car driver. That's what
It's
gets
like the
me,
SVG haters, man.
Oh, I know.
It's the same.
Same
It's the
crap.
same people.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the drama between, the next thing we should talk about, Bubba Bowman conflict at the end of the race with the contact. Do you think that Bubba deserves a penalty?
No, this is NASCAR. Gloves off, helmets off, put the octagon out, and let them settle it.
Yes.
If they really want to do it.
I agree. And my
You
thought
guys have already
process.
heard my opinion on that.
my thought process on this is those same people that are hating on Bubba for doing what he did there are put Chase Elliott in that scenario. Let's say Chase Elliott does that to somebody. Are they saying anything about it?
He did.
He did it to Suarez. Yeah.
And no, there's no publicity around it.
No.
The only people bringing it up are the journalists.
Yeah.
NASCAR hasn't even made a statement about it, but they made a statement about Bubba.
Yeah. It's the people just hating on Bubba. That's all it is. People just hate Bubba. People hate Suarez because people are blaming Suarez for that whole Chase Elliott thing. Suarez, on the footage I saw, it looked like Suarez was trying to get to the inside of Keselowski. Keselowski out the wall. Suarez like, it's the last lap of the race. I'm not going to wreck the guy or send it into turn 11 on the final lap for freaking P20. So he just cut Keselowski a break, man. And then what does Elliott do? Just completely ass-packs Suarez into 11, sends Keselowski up into the wall, sends Suarez into the wall. So Suarez just nudges him back, and Elliott ran out of talent spun. That's what I saw. Like, why? Like, Elliott completely could have just been nice there and not ran Suarez up the track. You know what I mean? Like, it's the last lap. Who's the hell? That's my philosophy. Last lap, if you're racing for the win or racing for a top 5, no holds barred. But if you're racing for freaking 19th, dude, why are we wrecking each other? That's pointless, dude.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It is.
That's asinine.
And, I mean, Chase Elliott fans could be all the mad that they want, but if Chase Elliott was really all the hype, why was he running back there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got outran by a freaking hack, dude.
Yeah. And some guy across the pond.
Yeah, you know who wasn't back there? Joey Hand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Start bitching about Joey Hand one more time.
That nobody that obviously Bowman beat was doing better than Elliott.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're dead right, man. Exactly. 100%. Yeah. That's the way I feel. Yeah. Put Larson in that same situation and tell me how you feel. Exactly. So stay mad. That's all I'm going to say. Stay mad,
Yeah,
Alabama,
stay mad.
Bama, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stay mad.
Yeah, because if Elliott won, the Elliott fans would be praising all of Joey Hand's accomplishments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Now that Bowman beat him, it's like, who's that guy?
Yep. 100%.
We don't need no damn foreigners in our sport. We need V8s and America.
And the funny thing is, Joey Hand's an American.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. Some of these guys didn't even know who the hell he was, dude. Who the hell is Joe Hand? Does he need a hand? Oh, man. All right, and then Boneheads of the Week. Obviously, I'll just reiterate this. It's Barry, Briscoe, and Priest. All the SHR drivers plowing in the wall. And guess who's not on the list? Lyle. So, mad respect to Lyle this weekend. I think, honestly, I don't think the result didn't even matter to him. I think he just didn't want to embarrass himself again, and that's exactly what he did. Not one time did we see Lyle in a wall somewhere or bouncing into somebody. So fantastic job by you, Lyle. I think you deserve a lot of credit this weekend. I mean, not driver of the week quality credit, but you didn't embarrass yourself, man. I like it. All right, and then the standings in the Cup Series, Elliott and Larson are separated by 11 points. Larson is your points leader, and then Reddick is 23 back from Elliott. This will be the last week we talk about your top 3. Going from here on out for the final stretch of the season, we're going to be talking about the cut line. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, buddy.
Alrighty. That was a long recap of those races, but there was a lot to talk about there. Now it's time to preview the races this weekend, the second half of the podcast here. We got Truck Xfinity Cup at Pocono. We got Indy NXT at Iowa, which I'm excited about. And then the VP Challenge, or the VP Series, the Pilot Challenge, and the IMSA WeatherTech Series at Canadian Tire for the World Endurance, and then the World Endurance Championship at Sao Paulo. Let's see. Notable entries for this weekend. We got in the Truck Series, we got Chris Wright in the number 1 Tricon, Connor Mosak in the number 7 Spire, Sage Karam in the number 21 Floridian Ford, and then Ross Chastain in the number 45 Nice. Luke Fenhouse making a start in the Truck Series for ThorSport in the 66, and then Zane Smith in the number 91 McNally. Xfinity, Daniel Dye in the 10 Colleague Machine, Josh Barrett in the Wall in the number 15 AM Racing Machine. William Byron will be running for Hendrick Motorsports in the 17, Taylor Gray in the number 19 JGR Toyota, and then Corey Heim in the number 26 Sam Hunt Racing Machine. Then we also got Cody Ware, the number 15 Rick Rowe Racing Machine. He's making a return to NASCAR. AJ Allmendinger in the 16 Colleague, and then JJ Yaley in the 44 NY Racing Machine. Catherine Legg should be racing this weekend at Iowa for DCR in the number 51. And then in IMSA, we got Vander Zander in the number 8 LMP2 machine for Tower Motorsports. Philippe Albuquerque in the number 22 United LMP2. Durrani in the number 88 AF Corsa LMP2. And then Delatraz in the number 99 AO Racing LMP2 machine. Alrighty. The Truck Series on Friday. The CRC Brake Clean 175. My favorite this weekend, I'm going to go with the man who won the last truck race that we watched at Iowa, and I'm going to take Christian Eckes. I think Christian Eckes is the best title contender to Corey Heim this year, and I believe that he's going to get another win this weekend at Pocono. That McAnally machines have been fast, and Eckes has been on another level. I think he's going to get the win. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with Lane Riggs in the 38. I love the passion we saw at Iowa with that Stephen Parsons deal. He's been really fast. He's been so close to knocking off a win here, and I think once he does get one, I think he'll start knocking them all off. I mean, the equipment's there, the driver's there. They just got to put one of these races together. Why not this weekend at Pocono?
All right. For my favorite, I'm going to go with Carruth. I chose him as a dark horse at Vegas, and he was extremely fast, won that race. Another dark horse pick. I had that freaking one. Insane. But I think that Carruth can really shine at tracks like Pocono, and we'll see what he's like with the equipment that he has. I still think that he's got a little bit to learn on tracks like Pocono, I guess you could say. It's just going to be a little bit different, but I still think that he could do a really good job. So I'm going to go with Carruth. It's going to be really hard to battle with those cars up front. Eckes, Heim. Who's the other one? There's another one that's real fast too. I can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyways, for my dark horse, I kind of was like, is this kind of a dark horse? I don't really know. But you know what? Nice. I don't think Nice has won this year or last year. So I'm going to go with Chastain as my dark horse. And it's just because it's Chastain, man. It's Chastain.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Chastain in the trucks. Whenever him and Nice get together, man, it's magic, dude. Like, that was the day.
Especially if he gets Phil Gould.
Well, he's with Honeycutt in the 42 full season.
Oh, rip.
That's why Honeycutt's been having such great performances. Granted, Honeycutt's a great driver, but him matched up with Phil Gould, that's a great combo. So, yeah, but nonetheless, I mean, that 45 team's been dumpster this year, no matter who they put in it. So I'm excited to see what Chastain can do in that 45 this weekend. Is everything okay with Jared?
Yeah, run to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect. Alrighty. Saturday we got the VP series, the Canadian Tire race number 1. I'm excited to watch this race. The VP series, LMP3s, and also the Grand Sport cars. Those are really fun races, so we'll have to stay tuned with that. The 45-minute race with one driver. Should be fun to watch that one as well. No picks made here on that one, but we will move on to the Michelin Pilot Challenge Series race, which this race is going to be absolutely awesome. I love the Michelin Pilot Challenge. I don't know what it is about it, but every time I watch one, I just get jittery watching it because it's just such a freaking thrill ride. You never know what the hell's going to happen next. But with that being said, I'm going with the one that's dominated this whole season. It's number 57 Windward. I mean, Ellis and Ward have just been unstoppable this year. I don't see anything different in Grand Sport with the GT4 cars, so I'm going to take them to win. Then my dark horse, I'm going to go with the number 13 Ford with McCumbee Motorsports. No particular reason beside the Ford factor, and I just want to see if they can maybe do something that's entertaining this week. They've got a long hill to climb, a lot of development they got to do to this GT4 Ford machine. So why not this weekend? This would be a good showboat, at Canadian Tire. Let's see what they can do.
Jay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't watched a VP race since
Daytona.
no, since Robert Wickens got hurt.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I haven't, man, and I know that's kind of a crime because I know that the races are good, but like I just don't have that drive to watch it, I didn't make any picks. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't blame you, man. I mean, yeah. Well, the thing is with pilot challenges, they always put them in weird times too. And with Robert Wickens being hurt, man, that was really the allure to the series for me. And that team has been dog water ever since he's been out of the car, and it's been sad to watch. I guess I'll get my picks for TCR. Obviously the 17 JDC team. I mean, they've won just about every race this year. I mean, they're gonna just do it again. They're unbelievable. And then my dark horse, I'm gonna go with the number 52 Baker Audi. Just because Audi's just, like I said, TCR and Audi's been the best team all year. But I like this Baker team, brothers racing on the team. I think it'd be cool to watch them win the race, man. It'd be awesome. They're gonna have a long hill climb, but that'd be cool to see. Xfinity series on Saturday, the Explore the Pocono Mountains 225. I'm gonna go with William Byron to win this race. I mean, that 17 Hendrick Motorsports car is really quick. I think Byron is gonna be head over heels better than everybody else. I think it's going to translate from qualifying to the race. Maybe not one of Byron's strongest tracks, but I think he's going to do all right in the Xfinity. I think he's going to get the win. And then I'm sticking with it, man. Creed at Chicago Street showed me a lot, man. That was the Creed I have been freaking waiting to see for so long. Finally sticking up for himself and using his bumper a little bit and making moves and not being scared to do so. Made a mistake late and kind of turned himself off the front of Kligerman. But I'm gonna stick with it, man. I'm still a Creed believer. I think if I stuck by Bowman as long as I did with how many winless races he had and how terrible his performance is, I'm gonna do the same for Creed, man. I'm a believer, and maybe I'm just a sucker for punishment because you look at most of my favorite drivers in most motorsports, they just never win. Rarely do they win. I mean, it's like a blue moon, so. I'll stick with Creed, man. I think he can get the job done. That's my dark horse this weekend.
All right, my favorite for the Xfinity race, I'm gonna go with Jesse Love. I think RCR is gonna be quick this weekend. I think you're gonna have to watch out for Austin Hill. I mean, if he doesn't lose his freaking mind over some minor petty BS on track, he could win this race. I think that their package for bigger tracks is exceptional. I think that we will see RCR up there battling for a win, but I think that Jesse Love, I think he's gonna get his second win this year, and it's not going to be at a super speedway. So I'm really excited for Love. Absolutely a hell of a driver. Just unfortunate he drives for RCR. My dark horse, I'm gonna go with Taylor Gray, that number 19 JGR. I mean, that 19 is extremely fast, no matter what driver's behind the wheel. Moffitt was doing phenomenal at Richmond, blew a tire, and I brought that up because of this whole Haley Deegan news that people were saying Brett Moffitt couldn't do any better. But I disagree. I disagree. But that 19 car is super fast. It doesn't matter who they put in it. That car is just on rails. And I think Taylor Gray can get it done.
Perfect. Jared, do you have any picks for Xfinity?
Well, is it Josh Berry who's driving Haley Deegan's new car?
Yeah.
That's who's winning. That's who's winning.
Wait, are there
and-
barriers at Pocono?
Yeah, right. Because he'll find one.
And my dark horse, I gotta go with SVG, man. I just think SVG. I gotta go with him every week. He's my guy. So, and I love when he wins. I love watching him punt that weirdly shaped football. That's great too.
Actually, that's a good pick with SVG there, Jared, because Pocono, with the way that track is designed, where it's all momentum racing and building runs, like it kind of plays like a triangle shaped road course, kind of, And I think this is going to be a track that's going to suit SVG's driving style pretty well. I think he's going to adapt to Pocono really well. I'm excited to see it, actually. I got my eyes on SVG now. I didn't even think about that, dude. That's a great pick, dude. That's a great pick. All right, Saturday, the Indy NXT race, the Iowa 100. Oh, man. I'm actually excited about the Iowa Indy NXT race. Last year's race was a damn barn burner, man. That was a great race between Christian Rasmussen and Jacob Abel, and then Jacob Abel ended up taking over at the end and winning it. It was pretty impressive. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Jacob Abel to win this race. I think he is by far the best oval driver in Indy NXT. I don't think it's even a debate. What he did last year on the ovals was impressive and won just about all of them. He started the season off super strong, and I was really worried for Louis Foster when he had built this big lead over him, and I was like, Foster's going to be in trouble, especially when we get down to the end of the season with the amount of ovals that are on the schedule. But Foster turned it around. Foster turned it up, and now he legitimately is leading the points. But now it's Jacob Abel's turn on his comfortability level to catch Louis Foster and make this an intriguing battle all the way down to the end of the season. So I'm going to take Jacob Abel this weekend. And I don't even really like the guy, so that's fair to be said. And then my dark horse, I'm sticking with it, man. I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think he is a superstar. I think it's just going to take time for him to develop with these Indy NXT cars. I think another year. And I think he's going to have these things figured out. I think he's right there at the same talent level as Collette. I'm going to go Miles Rowe. I think he's really good. I want to see him succeed. I personally do. He is a freaking excellent race car driver. What I saw him do last year in the UFSO Pro 2000 cars, everywhere they went, he dominated the field. And I was impressed the hell out of me. And I'm like, I'm sticking with him through Indy NXT this year as my rookie. So I'm picking him as my dark horse again. It's on an oval. We'll see how it works out, but I'm going to take him again.
Yeah, for my favorites, I'm gonna go with the Homer. I think he's I think he's got a pretty dang good chance at winning the championship. Obviously, with these ovals coming up, Abel's gonna be one to watch out for. But I do think that Foster, with the amount of ovals that he has ran now, he's probably learned a lot, and especially racing around the likes of Abel and Rasmussen last year, I think he's learned a lot. I think that Foster, if anything, finishes P2. Maybe with a little bit of luck, P1. It just really depends. I feel like this race is going to be kind of a crapshoot. I don't know. I do know, or I do feel like this race is going to be an absolute banger of a race. So, and I think it's going to be Abel and Foster up there at the front. So I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited to watch it as well. But I'm going to go with Foster just because I really want him to win the championship. Huge fan since Detroit of last year, and I've been riding that train ever since. And I'm just super excited to see how this weekend turns out for him. You also got to be careful though, because those rookies, Callum, Rowe, Hedge, I think you really got to look out for them. Maybe, well, not maybe. We've seen it in the past where we've got some great road course racers coming over from Europe, absolutely dominate on ovals. So it's not just an oval guy thing. I mean, the road course racers are just as damn good. They're really good at ovals. But with that being said, I'm going to go with Hedge because Callum won. I can't choose him anymore as a dark horse. He was typically my dark horse that I've been choosing. I believe in the guy, P3 in points right now. But I'm going to go with Hedge. Just another phenomenal rookie that we've seen in the Indy NXT. He might shine this weekend. Watch out for the rookies. They might do something.
Yes. And I agree. It's going to be a great race to see what the rookies could do. And I think that this race right here could be a championship defining race for this Indy NXT season. And it's all the weight is on Abel's shoulders. I think Foster's got a little bit of room to improve, but with the gap that he has in the points, it's not a do or die situation here. But for Abel, it's win or bust. I think he's at the point now where if he's going to win the championship, he's got to take it to him on these ovals. So it's going to be a great race. I'm excited to see. This could be a championship defining race in the Indy NXT this year. Next Saturday, the Hy-Vee Homefront 250. We will be doing the watch party. I know I'll be here. Tom, maybe not. We'll have to see how that works out for him. And then Jared said he would love to join me for this IndyCar race, the night race on Saturday night for the watch party. So we'll be here. I personally wanted to do this so bad because this is the hybrid debut on ovals, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out. But with that being said, man, I'm going with Scott McLaughlin to win this race. I think Penske's going to dominate both races, but I'm going to take Scott McLaughlin in race 1, and purely because he took it to Will Power and Newgarden last year. I think he led 75% of the first race last year before Newgarden finally got by him and pulled away late. I think he's exceptional on ovals. He's in the right car. He's learned a lot on these ovals, and I think and maybe I'm a homer here because got the guy I pull for on a weekly basis, but I think everything's looking up. I think McLaughlin's going to win this race. He's way too far out for the championship, I think, at this point. I mean, but we have a lot of ovals. Who knows? You never know. He could maybe climb back in this. He was my dark horse pick to win the championship in the bull predictions off season. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to go McLaughlin this weekend. And then my dark horse, it's obvious, man. What this man did at Dale Coyne Equipment last year on every oval, he was with top 5 every damn time with a Dale Coyne car. David Malukas' comeback tour is alive. He's with Meyer Shank now, and that team is miles ahead of Dale Coyne Equipment. David Malukas is underrated. I think we could see David Malukas win 2-3 of these ovals before the end of the season, all depending on what happens with the Penske's and how this hybrid package works out. Who's going to get the leap on it? Who's going to be more successful when this debuts? Who's going to get it figured out and be able to master it by the time we get down the stretch of these ovals? But I'm watching David Malukas this weekend. The comeback tour is alive, and I'm here for it, man. Let's go, David Malukas. That's my dark horse.
All right, for my favorite, I'm going with the homer. I think he's going to win the championship. I mean, it's Palou. I know that Penske is extremely strong, and I know that they're going to be a force to reckon with. I also think Pato O'Ward's going to be a force to reckon with. I also think Colton Herta is going to be a force to reckon with. So there's a lot of players at play right now. Palou cannot sacrifice any points this weekend. He needs to take advantage of every position he can to hold on to that points lead because Penske is going to be nipping at his heels here coming towards Nashville. He needs a phenomenal weekend in Iowa to keep that points lead alive. And I'm here for it. I think that Palou can do it. So it's gonna be a phenomenal race. I mean, you gotta tune in and watch it. But for my dark horse, if you're not choosing Malukas, you're a McLaren fan. I am not sharing the love here this weekend. Malukas and the comeback tour. I said it in the Discord. I said it in the podcast. I think it was 7 or 8 ago with Malukas getting dumped from McLaren. You cannot count this guy out. He is going to be the next face of IndyCar, and he's going to do it with Meyer Shank. That's the only team that's willing to give him a chance. Kudos to them. They're doing the right thing, and they are going to get great and fantastic finishes with that driver, and that team will elevate themselves to a Penske or a Ganassi level in due time with this driver. Malukas is going to be the face of IndyCar in due time. Take my word for it. All right? It's going to happen. But I'm not sharing the love this weekend. It's Malukas for the dark horse.
Yes. Jared, do you have any picks, man?
I just pick the same guy every week because he's my IndyCar driver, Will Power. Not having the best year, but he's my guy, and I'm so.
Oh, he could win this weekend. He almost won last year, both races, and came short to Newgarden. So that's a great pick. Yeah, that'll be the watch party for this Sunday. Saturday night. I'm super excited about it. I'm just I don't know. I'm hopefully optimistic, I guess, about this. There's skeptical optimism, I guess, with the hybrid package. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we're going to find out together on Saturday night, boys. It's going to be a good one. Buckle up. It's going to be fun. All right. And then Sunday, the World Endurance Championship, the Rolex 6 Hours of Sao Paulo. I am thrilled for this race. This is one of the best circuits. Actually, one of my favorite circuits in the entire world. I freaking love this track. I think these hypercars are going to put on an absolute show, especially coming off of Le Mans. New BOPs may change a little bit. Maybe some guys are going to learn some things. The 6 hour races are interesting. I think Porsche is going to be back on top. I really do. They are the points leader for a reason. I think they were there. They were competitive at Le Mans, but Toyota and Ferrari eventually were able, towards the end of the race, to really kind of take the reins of that race. Well, Ferrari, the whole race. I mean, honestly, whether it was the customer purchase car or the manufacturer car, they were the best. So, but I think it turns around this weekend. I think Porsche is going to get back on top. They're going to continue to build their points lead here in the World Endurance Championship. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with the number 35 Alpine. I was absolutely out of my freaking mind at Le Mans for the first 6 hours with how good the Alpine was. Right there at the top 6-7 positions for the first 6 hours. It was absolutely thrilling to watch, and then mechanical issues struck them. Well, the good thing is, with the pace they had in those 6 hours at Le Mans, if they could translate that to Sao Paulo, holy cow, watch out, man. We might see the French have another revolution or something, man. That Alpine team is on fire, dude. I like to see it. I would like to see him do good again this weekend.
All right, for my favorite, I'm going to kind of switch off of my usual here. I'm going to go with the number 7 Toyota, just to kind of switch it up. Really no other reason why. I'm just switching it up here. I need some help in the WEC world, so I'm going to go with the number 7 of Toyota. I know Porsche's fast. I know Porsche's going to be the one to beat here at Sao Paulo, but I'm going to go with Toyota. And then for my dark horse, I am going to go with the usual because let's go Peugeot. And man, did they have an awesome season opener at Bahrain, but dismal the rest of the season. But man, they could bounce back. They could bounce back anytime. I love their freaking car. It's right there. I mean, probably one of the most beautiful hypercars the world has seen to date, I think. And I'm just a homer for him, man. I freaking love him.
Heck yeah. All right, and then when it comes to GT3 this weekend, I'm going to go with the number 91 Manthey Porsche again. I think that they are definitely the best team. I mean, they dominated Le Mans. I mean, it was unbelievable how fast they were there. Didn't make any mistakes, ran a flawless race, and then put the hurting on the field there at Le Mans. And I think that, I mean, they fired George the Traveling Gas Man after their dismal performance they had leading into Le Mans. So I think that they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to end up winning this race in dominant fashion once again. And then my dark horse, Iron Dames, of course, because, I mean, obviously they're freaking amazing race car drivers. I mean, maybe the speed of the Lamborghinis haven't really been there in GT3 this year, which has been really freaking shocking to me. But I believe they got the talent. They got the drive to do it. What they did at Bahrain last year, I could see him translating it to a race like Sao Paulo, and I think that they're going to be competitive, and I would love to see him win. I mean, sentimental favorite to me right there.
Make me feel bad. I freaking love the Iron Dames, but I'm going to go different for my favorite here. I'm going to go with the 46 HRT. Valentino Rossi behind the wheel. What that BMW team has been able to do this year, phenomenal, awesome. I'm all about it. I really want to see that success translate and take a checker flag home. I think they can too. I really do. I think they can for sure. And then for my dark horse, I gotta do it. I'm gonna continue the streak. Okay. And plus, I like that woman on that team.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
What was her name?
I can't remember. Let's just call her Lindsay.
Yeah.
I like Lindsay. Okay, she's great. I love her. But I'm gonna go with the number 77 Ford Mustang Proton. Hopefully they change the pillar system for their rear wing because that is just abominable. That's just terrible. Terrible. What were you thinking, Ford?
They're suckers for punishment, man. I don't think they're
They
ever
are.
gonna fix it. I think they're just hard headed. They're just gonna stick with it for the rest of the time. Oh man. Yeah, I'm super excited for this race. I'm gonna be tuned in for sure. This is gonna be a great race. And I think that our picks are on point here. I'm excited to see the bounce back for a lot of these teams after Le Mans, because there was a lot of really bad sour grapes after Le Mans with a lot of these teams that made mistakes that you didn't expect. So I think everything's gonna be on the up and up, going back to another shorter distance race, 6-hour race. Shorter distance, yeah. But yeah. And then Sunday, the IMSA series is heading up to Canadian Tire for the WeatherTech Challenge Series, the Chevrolet Grand Prix. LMP2s, GTD Pros, and GTD cars racing this weekend. Which that's one thing I've got to mention real quick. The dang Canadian people need to chill out a little bit here, man. They're freaking out because the GTPs aren't there. Blah, 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 blah. We don't get the top level of sports car racing here in Canada. There's a hateful crime to a Canadian people. But you got all the best, like, GTP drivers are racing LMP2 cars this year. So, like, you're still getting the best drivers, and they're still in prototypes. So what are you complaining about? You know, like,
and they got a banger of an F1 race.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So I don't. They just need to calm down a little bit. It's not like it's Montreal; it's Canadian Tire. Cool your jets a little bit here. But I'll get that out of the way first. LMP2. I'm gonna go with the number 88A, of course. I think they go back to back in IMSA competition. They won there at Watkins Glen. This weekend they got a different lineup, and particularly my favorite driver in all of IMSA, Pipo Derani's behind the wheel. So I'm taking them to win. I'm a homer here. I think that they're going to dominate this race and go back to back. And then for my dark horse, I'm going to go with the number 52 Inter Europool team. And that's because they literally have zero shot of winning this race, in my opinion. So I'll throw them on there.
All right. For my favorites, for the IMSA Canada race, I'm going to go with the number 2 United, the Benz. I think that they're going to be really good. I think they're just going to be really freaking good. They're going to be one to watch out for. For my dark horse, I'm going to take the Ligier of Sean Creech. And because why not?
Why not?
I'm a sucker for underdogs, man. I freaking love it. I love it. I'm all about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that car is the most American car ever, but with a freaking French freaking manufacturer that built the car. I mean, they're terrible. I mean, and what an embarrassment. That's a great dark horse.
It is. I mean, the French have had an embarrassing year for
it's been
motorsports, man.
It's been bad.
Bad.
It's been so bad. And then GTD Pro. I'm gonna go with Rexy, the number 77 AO Porsche. They have absolutely put Vassar Sullivan in their place this year. I mean, it has been tough to watch as a Vassar fan, but yeah, I don't think it's gonna be any different this weekend. I think the Porsche is just that much better. I think the problem is with the Vassar is they're just behind. They were the first ones to kind of come out with this GT3 package and kind of took reins with this car, but now everybody's caught up and surpassed them now. And I think driver talent is what's keeping them relevant, in my opinion. But that's why I'm going to take the 77 AO Porsche. I think they're going to continue with their winning ways. And then for my dark horse, this is for all of you NASCAR Bowman haters that are crapping on this man. I'm going with the number 65 Porsche for Joey Hand. I think they're going to win this weekend, or be competitive this weekend. I mean, they've had terrible races, reliability, the wings falling off with the crappy design. They got freaking mechanical issues, overheating issues. I mean, this car just cannot stay in one piece. But you put Joey Hand behind the wheel, and good things are going to happen. And if you're a NASCAR fan, tune into this race, please. Watch, see what Joey Hand can do behind the wheel of a race car. If you don't know who this guy is, start figuring that out, because he is an exceptional talent, and that's why I'm picking him. Purely just bias. I think I picked him every damn race this year, man, and I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah.
Well, if Chase Elliott beat Joey Hand in the NASCAR race, then every Chase Elliott fan all over the internet will be telling you how great Joey Hand is. Everybody knew that Joey Hand was this amazing driver.
Bar none.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
Except for Elliott.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. For my favorite, for the Canada race with IMSA. I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna go with the number 14 Vasi Solikar, and yes, the 77 is better right now. But what a better way to turn it around right now than to go out and win this race. They've had lots of time to prepare for this race. They've had lots of time to go ahead and take this car, take their shot guys to the 7 post and try to get some more performance out of this car. I think that it's going to be a great battle between the 14 and the 77 if nothing happens to the both of them. And if anything, we're in for a great race between these two guys. So I think it's going to be great. For my dark horse, again, I'm going to take it every time this whole year, as I have every race. I'm going to go with the number 65 Multimatic Ford. And also, just because it's relevant now, a slap in the face to everybody who hated on Joey Hand. So, stay mad.
Stay mad. Yeah, exactly. Stay mad. I would love to see him win, dude, and then just post it all over all those NASCAR shit posting pages. Yeah, he ain't that good of a driver, is he? He just won it at Canada in IMSA. So, yeah, eat it. And then they'll be like, "Well, that's just sports car racing. What? They've got Mazda Miatas out there. That ain't racing." Like, yeah, there's no win. There's no win.
They were about to pull up their Winnebago at Le Mans.
Yeah. Just to see the NASCAR. Oh, man. The Le Mans comments about the NASCAR. I'm watching Le Mans this year. Where's the NASCAR at?
Yeah.
Them cheating Toyotas are out front. Where's the NASCAR? They'd be winning right now. I'm like, you guys are idiots.
It's so bad.
God. All right. GTD class. I'm going to take the number 57 Windward. Just like I said, they've got the GT4 program down there in Pilot Challenge Series. They got the GT3 program down. I think they win yet again another race at IMSA with the GTD class. And then my dark horse, I'm going to go with the number 96 Turner. I have no reason why. They're a meme at this point. So I'll take them as my dark horse.
All right. For the sucks class, I'm going to take the number 12 Vasi Solikar just because I'm a homer. And I think that if they don't step on their own extremities, then they'll be okay. And then the same thing. I've been doing it all year. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go with the number 55 Ford Mustang Proton, just because. I mean, I'm a sucker for underdogs. I think it'd be a great story to see them finish great.
There it is. Those are our IMSA predictions this weekend for the race at Canadian Tire. We'll probably make this one brief with the High V 1 Step 250, the second IndyCar race of the weekend. This is the daytime race on Sunday. I'm going to go, instead of I picked McLaughlin in race 1, I'll go Power in race 2. I think it's going to be a Penske weekend. And then my dark horse, I'm sticking with it, Malukas. I mean, there's nothing else to be said. We said everything we could earlier.
I will say, though, that this race is going to be completely different than the night 100%. Race. It gets way stupid hot in Iowa, especially for a daytime race. So if you're expecting the same thing from race to race, you're wrong. It's going to be a completely different race. Tune in for it, okay? It's going to be extremely hot. It's going to be extremely great racing. But with that saying, I'm keeping my lineup. I'm going Pillow and Malukas. If you're not choosing Malukas, you're a fan of Arrow McLaren.
Oh man, Jared, we already know who he's going. He's gonna go Power again. I'm sure of it. So, oh man. All right, final pick of the weekend here: the Cup Series, the Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono. I'm going with Chastain this weekend. He should have won this race last year if frickin' damn Hamlin didn't just shove him in the wall and say he gave him a lane. It's bullcrap. Chastain was the best car last year. Got screwed out of that win. Chastain, he's going to win this weekend, man. Like, the pressure's on now. The playoff bubble is shrinking because there's less winners than races, or less spots than races left to have new winners. I think Chastain's going to feel that pressure this weekend. I think he's still got a fire in his belly after what happened to him in Nashville, again, with Larson running out of talent and running him. I'm taking Chastain this weekend. I think Chastain's going to be unbelievably fast, and I'm excited to see him get his first win of the season here this weekend at Pocono. And then my dark horse, I'm going to show some mad love, mad respect for old Lyle Gregson, not throwing that thing in the wall in turn 6, not matching his complete capabilities there at Chicago. And I think that he did everything he went there to do was to survive, and he did it. And I think he's someone to watch out for this weekend at Pocono.
All right, for my favorite, I'm not sharing the love. I am very open about my fans' perspective of Chastain. I think Chastain's going to win this race. If he can build off of anything from last year, he's already a step ahead of most others. So I think Chastain's going to come to the track. He's going to be fast he's going to be fast all weekend. They're going to unload fast, I think. So keep your eye out on that one car. And then for my dark horse, I'm going to take Gilliland. In the front row has had some crazy success stories here at Pocono, with Busher, with the other Gilliland. Who's the other driver? I don't think McDowell's has had a good race here. It might have been David Reagan.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
but anyways,
it might have been Reagan, yeah.
Front row has had some weird good luck at Pocono. Gilliland is
it was
a
Busher.
top-tier driver.
Busher won the rain race.
Yeah,
That's
I said
what it was.
Busher.
Yeah.
But they've had some weird good success here at Pocono. I think Gillen is a top tier driver. Building that program with McDowell is just watch for McDowell too. McDowell's going to be great as well. So just keep your eyes out. Front row's going to be fast, and I'm going Gillen.
All right. We'll do fantasy real. Oh, actually, Jared, I didn't get your picks, man.
Well, the name that I was just thinking of probably shows how little I know, but the name that just keeps screaming to me is Truex, man. I don't know. I feel like Truex is just due, man. That's just my shot in the dark.
That's a great pick, dude.
It's a great pick.
I've got him on my fantasy lineup, which we're going to talk about next. Fantasy, I've got Hamlin, Truex. I think they're both going to be fast. Chastain, I think he wins. And then Bowman and Larson, purely because they both have a really good track record at Pocono, and I think they're both going to be probably the lead guys there for Hendrick this weekend. So that's my lineup. Tom, what's your lineup?
Spoiler alert, all Toyotas.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
19, 11, except for Chastain, 1, 45, and the 20. And I want to take a second here, okay? Because I want to highlight Christopher Bell for a second and what he said during the rain delay.
Yes.
At
Needs
Chicago.
to be said.
Absolute Chad. He goes. I think it was Parker, wasn't it Parker who was interviewing him?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
I think it was Parker. He goes, hey. Because Parker was asking about the conditions. How's the track? How's the car driving? He goes, Parker, I don't know why we're not racing right now as it's pouring down rain. I mean, the absolute reserve out of this driver, the racer's mindset. I appreciate that. The never give up attitude, which is why I'm a Chastain fan. He just doesn't quit. And the talent of this driver as well. And to go out there and just absolutely kind of give a backhand slap to NASCAR straight on their broadcast, man. I love it. But that's not the only reason why I'm choosing him. I just think Toyota's going to be extremely fast here this weekend and Chastain.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you brought that up about Bell. I have so much more respect for Bell now.
Absolutely.
After that comments. Jared, what were you
That
gonna
is just a Chad comment because that just shows the racer in him. You know, Lyle Gregson would never say that because if there's
he had PTSD.
Yeah, because if there's rain, Lyle Gregson's scared that there's going to be soap in it.
Oh man. Well, I mean what Bell said is perfect because what is racing, right? Everybody is put on in similar cars on the same track in the same conditions. Go out there from the start of the race to the end of the race, figure it out. Who can get there first? Out of everything that gets thrown at you adversity-wise, track conditions, competition, who can win? That's racing. And Bell literally defined racing to NASCAR in a racetrack, in a racing sanctioned event, and told them what was up. And I'm surprised he hasn't got fined. I'm surprised he will. I wouldn't be surprised if he got fined, actually. I mean, that was a big dig. And then also shout out to Cindric, too, because Cindric did kind of say the same thing, but you could tell that they talked to the drivers after that Bell interview and were like, hey, we need to start using those buzzwords. Safety, viable racing conditions, the visibility. Like he started throwing those in, but he wanted to say what Bell said. So shout out to Cindric as well, even though he's kind of a waste of talent hack. But Yeah, I'll give him a little bit of a shout out because he had to catch himself a couple times in that interview as well. So yeah, big respect to the drivers that are there to drive, not the ones that are there for the money in the show. So
Larson.
Larson. Yeah. Oh man. All right, now matchups. We got the matchup between Bowman and Bubba. Great matchup coming off the drama there at Chicago Street Course. I think Bowman is going to win this matchup over Bubba, and I think it's because momentum. Momentum means a lot in racing, and I think Bowman's finally got his mojo back, and I think we're going to see a different side of him. Not that we haven't this year. He's got the most top 10s in the Cup Series with 11, so I don't see. I mean, I get the hate, but I mean, he's been consistent all year long, and I think it just continues on now that they got the confidence. So I think he'll be a little better than Bubba. Not to say that Bubba's not going to be fast. I think he will be as well.
Yeah, this was actually kind of a little bit of a difficult one for me to choose over, just because of the momentum that Bowman is coming off of. But I did say Toyota dominance. I'm gonna differ from this. I'm gonna choose Wallace over Bowman.
Okay. Next matchup is Reddick and Gibbs, which is another kind of inner Toyota matchup. I'm gonna take Reddick over Gibbs. I think that 45 is just hitting on all cylinders right now, man. It's kind of impressive, and I mean he's bound to win a race here before long. And he's just, my thing with Reddick though is he just does stupid things late in these races. He makes stupid mistakes, and he should be making these mistakes. Like, these are rookie mistakes, and he's not. He's making those mistakes. I think that's the hamper for him, but he's still gonna be wicked fast. I think he'll be faster than Gibbs.
Same. I think that I'm going to echo what you said, firing on all cylinders in championship form. Let's just get the race all together, make it one package, and come home with a clean race car. I mean, if he could do that, he could absolutely win this race.
Yeah, facts. Next one is Blaney and Busch. Poor KFB. I think I saw a stat that was his first top 5 or top 10 finish in like 2.5 months.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to continue. I think Blaney's going to be way better than Busch this weekend.
Yes.
I think honestly, it pains me because I do want to see him continue his winning streak because he's never lost in a season he's competed in the Cup Series. But I think this is going to be the year, man. I really do. It's been rough sled for old KFB.
Yeah. R.I.P. KFP, man. It's terrible. It's terrible. I have to choose Blaney. I have to. I mean, I'm down a little bit on points, man. I'm making my way back up. I'm cutting down on that gap, but I gotta choose Blaney over Busch.
And then the last one is Larson and Bell. I don't know. I went back and forth on this so many times. I mean, it's Bell's gonna be fast, make a mistake. Larson will be fast, be an idiot. I mean, what are you looking at here? And I'll take Larson just purely off the track record of Pocono for him. And that's really it. I mean, and that's splitting hairs.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bell. I just think that Bell is also other than Chicago. Bell is in championship form, I think, as well. Definitely somebody to be looking at for your Final Four coming into the playoffs. But I'm choosing Bell over Larson. I think it is, though, going to be a race of who messes up first.
Yeah. And the pit stop strategies too, because I mean you're gonna have to pit at least once in each stage with the way that the length of the stages have been in the past. They might change it, I don't know, but yeah, it could be interesting. Pace is gonna be interesting. Weird cautions. It's gonna be a weird race. Pocono's always kind of a weird race, and as long as Hamlin doesn't do any stupid Hamlin crap or Larson doesn't do any stupid Larson crap, we should have a pretty good race, hopefully. But we'll see. I remember last year we had some good memes off that watch party that we did there at Pocono with the old Austin Dillon helmet throw and the Logano raging at the track officials with his car. So maybe we'll get some more cool moments like that. Who knows? All right, that'll do it, man. I think that'll wrap up the podcast for this week. Fun podcast. Had a lot to talk about. Went way longer than I expected we'd go, but when you got lots of stuff to talk about, it's always a good time. So that was fun. Make sure to tune in on Saturday. We're going to be doing the watch party for the Iowa hybrid debut on ovals. It's going to be fun. Me and Jared will be in here for sure. And then maybe Tom. We'll see if he makes it or not. But we're going to have a great time anyway. It's going to be a fun watch party, fun interaction with the seeing the IndyCars live with you guys. I mean, this is groundbreaking. I mean, this is the new era of IndyCar, and we're gonna have to see how it plays out on an oval. I'm curious as hell, and that's why I want to do this watch party. So tune in on Saturday. It's gonna be a fun time. Tom, what else we got going on this weekend? Road to Pro stuff. You got to talk about it.
Hey, if you guys watched last night, we won that race at Iowa. That was pretty dope. Did not expect that. Again, huge shout out to old Dal Seawee there. With a little bit of that car prep help. Truly appreciate it. But we got RTP on Thursday, baby. We're gonna be at Long Beach, 40 laps. We're gonna have Jay as crew chief. And we're going to be making our way around here, trying to get ourselves away from the carnage and try to get ourselves a good finish to start out the race. I guess you'd say season. It's 8 races. We've got Long Beach and then Indianapolis, which that's going to be pretty fun. So lots of work to do there as well. But on Wednesday, we're going to be at Pocono with the trucks as well, with the Nexus Sim Racing guys. That's tomorrow. So tune in for that broadcast. That's going to be lots of fun. And then we're pretty off.
Yeah, we're pretty much off after that. Then just more
But
racing.
tune in.
Yeah, tune in.
Tune in for that RTP and tune in for that Wednesday truck race too. But you're gonna be seeing me drive around Long Beach. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty confident, and we got some momentum rolling.
We're going for that bread.
Bread, baby.
For that bread. Yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. That was a great race yesterday. If you guys get a chance, go watch the live stream or go watch that little 20-minute highlight video I made from it. It's really entertaining. It kind of breaks the race down with all the cool moments and shows how much of an idiot I could be sometimes. I took a lot of shots of myself on that. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so go check that out. It's a lot of fun, a lot of entertainment there as well. Lots of good stuff coming up on the channel. Stay tuned. Go follow us on all of our socials: X, Patreon, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Lots of stuff there for you guys to see. Go follow us on Kick. We're going to be doing a lot of Kick exclusive streams in the near future too. So we're trying to transition over to Kick as well. Kind of easing you guys into it, doing a little bit of both. And then we're going to do some Kick exclusive ones as well. So just stay tuned. Lots of great stuff happening on this channel. Super excited for this weekend's races. We just went through all of them, and it's going to be some fantastic racing. If it's anything like last weekend, holy cow, man. The golden era of motorsports is here, and finally, it's like when you wait for something for so long, and it just never happens. It continually just lets you down week after week after week. And then all of a sudden, like, the most random week, like the most random week ever just lands in your lap, and you're like, holy cow, man, I am so excited. I love it. I can't believe it happened. It's like a surprise.
Dude, it's like a Red Ryder BB gun.
Yeah, dude.
Opening it on Christmas Day, man. You've just been waiting for it, and you're like, man, this is the greatest day ever.
It was so good, man. All the racing this weekend was amazing.
And then next week, you shoot your eye out.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'm optimistic, but we're going to see how it all plays out. Yeah. Oh, man. Alrighty. Go check us out on our merch store. Go buy some Digga Boy swag. Got some Big Daddy IMSA hats on there. Big Daddy NASCAR. We got some t-shirts, hoodies, pants, coffee mugs, water bottles, bags. I mean, whatever you want. It's on there. All those proceeds go back to help us to make bigger and better content for you guys. Lots of stuff coming up in the next few months, especially with the Road to Pro that Tom's attempting to run for as well. And then I've got some things that I'm working on. Me and Jared are going to be doing maybe a little bit of a trip. Actually, we are doing a trip. I won't announce it right now, but we are doing a trip, and we're going to have some content come out of that as well. So stay tuned. Lots of stuff. We're going to be doing a lot of different things on this channel moving forward, and I'm excited that you guys are going to join us on this incredible journey as we continue to build the greatest racing community on the internet, which leads me to my next point, Discord. Come join our Discord. Link is in the description below. Everything you could ever want to know about motorsports and everything happening news-related, fans that maybe have the similar interests as you, come join our Discord. Come interact with those people. Make yourself known. Come talk to us in there as well. We're always hanging around the Discord. So, yeah, it means the world to us, and you guys do that. And you get to stay up to date with everything happening in motorsports. So it's a great platform for motorsports news and communication. So, with that being said, though, this has been Full Send Half-Mast episode 78. Jared, Tom, thanks for joining me tonight. It was a fun time. Had a great podcast, and cheers to the next one, everybody. We'll catch y'all in the next one, which is tomorrow.
He is about to head for victory as he comes into the final corners here at Silverstone. The crowds are going crazy. Lewis Hamilton wins the British Grand Prix. He takes his 9th win at Silverstone, his first win in nearly 1,000 days in Formula One.
A couple of corners left. Pato O'Ward by 2 car lengths on the main straightaway. He weaves, he wiggles. O'Ward wins. McLaren.
Checkered flag. You just won at Mid-Ohio, buddy.
And toppled Alex Palou at Mid-Ohio.
And now he is going to conquer the streets of Chicago. Alex Bowman has won at Chicago.